What's up, everybody? Stocks for Rell. I don't have a lot of time today to go through the whole editing setup or whatever, but I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video. So we looked at silver, right? We ran that up and we ran it down. So I think 28.12 was the level. Anything above 28.12 were calls. Anything below 28.12 were puts, right? And we made money both ways. Made 58% on the way up. Come here, baby. Made 58% on the way up. And then we made, I think from that drop down was about a 600% run in that day. And then on retracement, I hopped back into puts and I posted about it. And I posted when I was down 5%. So I did put out the play. Hopefully you guys caught, because that same play ran up for 148% on the way down. So all those levels hit. So fast forward, we looked at Netflix. Now Netflix technically hit, right? So let's talk about it, okay? So the play was for the whales. Now I didn't put out a contract because of those reasons. The whales, if you are a whale, you could have hopped into a $2,000 contract, or I don't know, even a $1,000 or $800 contract, and playing the call options. Even before the earnings, before close, I was up 23% on the $800 strike for the call, right? But if you are a whale and you paid more for a contract that was closer to end of money, then that 23% for you likely would have been 80 to 120%. With a more closer in the money call, because Netflix moves. It doesn't, it's not like increments of decimals. It moves by dollars, right? Some tens of dollars. So I held mine into the next day after earnings, and earnings did its thing. Earnings was great. They beat expectations, and their guidance was great as well. So there was no reason for the stock to pull back. I listened to the call, and even this morning when I woke up, even the analysts were pumping the stock and putting it, tagging it as outperformed, and also giving it a higher buy rating, right? So everything was doing great. Now the problem is that when the market's coming down, it's kind of hard for Netflix to pull ahead. However, it did. Netflix shot up and touched my initial target when I told you guys that it was going to pull down. I want to say that the number was 638.87, if I'm not mistaken. And once it touched that, it was going to rocket up and retest the ascending channel that it previously broke down from, right? So that was a huge run up. That was over, I think it was like from 238 all the way to like 260, or sorry, 638 all the way up to about 655 to 660 or something around that area. So that's a huge move, right? That's a $30 move in an options contract. That's a big deal. Now, where did it go wrong? Well, when for us minnows, right? When we carried over the stock, so the contract the night before, the IV or implied volatility for that contract, even though it was a week out, it was 74%. Well, this morning, I told you guys what happens with IV. Typically, once the news breaks, interest kind of goes down. But I didn't expect the IV to go down so much for the what do you call it? For that contract, right? So we went from 74% down to, man, what was it? Like 40%? Something like that. It was a huge drop. So when that dropped, I mean, that pulled the contract down. The premium was worth less. What's up, baby? This is Scarlett. Well, hey, you know not to kiss me in my lips. Anyway, but if you were well, you did great. But once it pulled up, though, this morning, you should have still been in green, ultimately. And that was a huge run, okay? So then, what else did I say in my video? I said, if Netflix fell below, I think it was 638.87, then look out below. What was my next tag? the put option for 551. And that was for the minnows. Okay, so further out contracts was I selected those because I don't know if I even told you guys about that one, but that's the one I was looking at. And but yeah, so it was a cheaper, it was a cheap premium. So I grabbed that and I actually ran that up a little bit. And now I did call out the Head and Shoulders pattern for Netflix as well, to which it did what it did. So we were at 638.87, and then it fell down to about 630. So there was an $8 move there, and who knows where it is right now. So every one of those levels hit. I also called out SoFi. I'm not sure if anybody hopped into that or talked about it, but there's over 300,000 options set to expire today for SoFi. So I fully expected SoFi to pull back and be range bound between the 750 and 799 range, because that's where a bulk of the contracts were. Okay, so market makers aren't allowing anybody that's holding SoFi really to be in the money come time of expiration. And you'd think that people learned their lesson by now, but yeah, here we are. Okay, so that being said, that's that. Next week, I'm going to talk about SoFi, and I think I'm talking about Disney. I got to double check, but Disney is at a good level where I'm thinking that we're going to have a little bit of a run up for as long as the market holds together and does a little bit of rebound. I do see Disney coming from the 95 range where it is, moving back up to about 98, 99, but time will tell. Okay. I'm also talking about AMC tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, by next week. AMC's earnings are coming up, I think, August 8th. But I do expect them to do numbers. I do expect their debt to be fully reduced. So there's a lot on the table that I want to talk about and get off my chest. And then hopefully we can make some money. Scarlett, enough. Dogs barking at other dogs in the neighborhood. So that being said, lastly, I am giving away my journals here. Let's see, I can just do that. So these journals, yeah, that's good. Yeah, these journals are all the drafts that I had putting this together. Me and my wife, we actually spent a lot of time thinking about my mindset and how I tend to overcomplicate things. So like when I was journaling originally, I was writing novels. Like I was just writing all of my thoughts. And that started to take too much time, right? And that spending so much time journaling, it takes you out of it. And then it becomes more of like a burden. So my journals are focused on keeping the main thing. It's very, very simple, but it was complicated. It was a complicated thought process in order to be made simple, right? So hopefully to those that receive this journal, it works for you and helps you. I don't have instructions in my journal, and the reason for that is because I think people should take it and then interpret it and use it how they choose or what suits them best. I think journals are a tool just like any other indicator or whatever that we're using to make it in this market. You do not need a journal to like a special journal to be a profitable trader, in my opinion. It's a tool. And in reality, I know people pump their chest and stomp their feet on journals. Some people need it because if you don't know where you've been, then you won't know where you're going. If you don't know where your mistakes are being made, then how can you correct them, right? That's really the purpose. But if you're strong-minded and you are extremely disciplined and you have a solid system and there's not many mistakes, then I don't know, like, do you need it? It's up to you. I mean, the tool is only as good as the one that uses it. So for somebody like that, it's a log, which that's what a journal should be, more of a log of your trades. And then it should tell a story, but in a very simple format. So I'm not even going to get into it. Those that are getting the books, you know who you are. So far, there's 2. people that I've selected for the books, and I have one, two, I think 3 more to give away. So I'm giving away these books, and I'm selling these books on Amazon. I've reduced the price to where I'm making almost nothing for profit, but I think it's a tool that needs to be shared. And I think a lot of journals are just overcomplicated, and I think mine is pretty simple. So I think it's under $18 on Amazon. So if you want it, go ahead and get it. It covers enough pages where it should get you 1/4 of the year. So 3 months it should cover. It's designed to limit your trades to about 4 trades a day. But of course, you can trade as much as you want. You can trade as little as you want. Just use the tool as you see fit. That being said, what else do I have for you? I think that's all I got. Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for supporting me. If you want a journal, then all you have to do is write journal on this video in the comments, and then I will reach out to you. If you're on IG, that's probably the easiest way. So if you write journal here and contact me on IG, it's way easier for me to kind of go through all this. Okay, so that's what it is. Y'all have an amazing weekend. I hope y'all had a great trading day, and this is Stocks for Rell. Take care.